Hi, I'm Callie, the owner of Curls and Company in Chicago, and we're here today with Catherine, and we're going to be talking about wavy, swavy, curly hair, and some of the struggles that people go through when they have wavy, swavy, or curly hair. A lot of it has to do with, can I get second day hair? How do I get a better curl? How can I knock out frizz? How do I do the clipping? So we're going to go over a lot of that, products that work the best so you don't end up with weighed down curl pattern. And so we're going to go over all of those different things. But I thought it would be kind of cool to ask Catherine, like, what's her hair routine? Because she actually does a great job, and she's somebody who definitely has to be in front of people a lot because she does like diction and some other really cool things. She teaches people how to speak in Scottish accents and all kinds of cool stuff. So anyway, Catherine, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about your routine and your life.
Sure, yes. I sort of bought into the curly girl hook, line, and sinker over a decade ago, and I've been kind of oscillating between different Diva products since then. Right now, where I've landed is I rarely use Milku, but that's the cleanser that I use. I mostly just cleanse with my one conditioner. I definitely squish and kind of apply it upside down and squish it as much as possible. And I leave it up to kind of let it do its work for most of my shower, and then flip it over to rinse it out. So I try to keep some product in the crown of my hair, rinse it out, and then squish it. I use a wide tooth comb to just get the tangles out only when it's wet. And then I use the Archangel gel, sometimes with a little squirt of wave maker in it as well. And I do the praying hands and then squish. So that is my current routine. For second day hair, I'm really eager to hear some of Callie's expertise. I tend to just wet it and then do my own spray of Diva gel a little bit to sort of reapply some product. And I have success sometimes and not other times. So I'm eager to learn today.
Cool. That's the thing, I think you'll get to a point with curly hair where you kind of know what you don't know. And so that's what we're going to work on today a little bit, because Catherine pretty much has really nice curls. And what she didn't share with you is she's a mom. And kids really keep you busy. So a lot of people will come in and be like, you don't understand, I don't have any time. She really doesn't have any time, and she does a lot of stuff. And so again, it's how can we have that high impact, low maintenance hair that we're going to be able to live our lives and not be, our hair, we're always worrying about our hair. Because honestly, nobody has time for it. I don't hear one person who comes and sits down that says, I have so much time to make my hair look beautiful every day. Give me all the scoop. They're just like, how can I do it super fast? So, and have it still look pretty. Because again, we don't want to look like super sloppy. Curly hair used to get a really bad reputation of being unkept. I hear that a lot. Well, I have a corporate job, I'm in the public eye, I can't look like some crazy person, I can't look all, wild and woolly. Well, when I look at my hair today, I think this is pretty appropriate, and I think her hair looks really appropriate. And yet today she came in with probably just doing her basic thing. So there's little things like, I'm gonna show you, I'm just gonna sort of jump in with this. See how she's got a little cast of there's a little fuzzy wuzzies? Because that's life and stuff's gonna happen. What I've really been liking, there's a couple different ways to address this. So I'm gonna talk a lot about a new product called Curly World. This is by Lorraine Massey, the woman who founded Diva Curl, and then she moved away. Then she decided to take a different direction with her line and with her products. It's not saying curly, the Diva Curl, well, now they're saying it's just Diva Curl, but it's not saying that they're two different things. They operate in different ways. But what I like about this, it's very slippery, so be prepared so you don't end up using too much. You take a little bit, just rub it in, and just sort of drag it over those wild guys, and they start, and if you need to drag a little more, life's okay, you can do that. But again, and that's the thing, feeling your hair and looking in the mirror. If you're like, it's still a little there, that's okay, that's why you have more. Don't beat yourself up, you'll find your happy place. And this again, this is more for the emergency, I'm a mom and I don't have 10 hours to make this look good. Make this look good, Callie. Make it look good right now. And again, there. Now we're getting it nice and calm. And this is on totally dry hair. And you're just gonna kind of work down those little wild guys. Sometimes too, you get those baby hairs like after you've had your baby and they just don't. Again, just work it through. A little bit is not terrible, but again, if you can make it a little bit smoother, that's really handy. And then when that dries, it's already set into place. So that's really nice. And just so you know, when she came in, we are literally doing her hair as she came in with. I didn't prep it, I didn't do fancy stuff, because again, she's gonna be home and I would like to just be able to, you know, give her the easiest kind of direction to take with her hair when we're styling. So she wakes up and it's looking good, but it got a little wild over the night. Again, take that section and make it pretty wet. And you're thinking, whoa, that's a lot. Yeah, get it pretty wet. See how I'm kind of combing it through? It's okay. Where did I put my Curly World stuff? Ah, right here. There's no gimmicks in this video. You're seeing it as I am actually doing it. Okay, so I poured some of this Leave-In Lover, a Leave Me or Leave, it says a Love Me or Leave-In Gel, because she loves like cute little sayings and stuff. And this is by Curly World. So I'm gonna take some, and I put like a teaspoon in there, and I'm gonna drag it through the hair and really coat the hair. Now, if I was at home doing myself, I probably would do this part too. So again, don't be shy. That's what happens a lot that makes people fail on the second day hair, is they don't wet it down enough. And then you go to put the product in, it feels kind of gross. It should feel good. And again, you're watching as you're doing. Anywhere that looks wild and unkept that you need to kind of bring back to order. So, and the weird thing about the Love Me, I really got to get this name right, the Leave-In Lover, is it's a leave-in conditioner and a gel in one. So you don't have to worry about, do I need to put a leave-in conditioner and then put on my gel? You can just sort of put this straight up. That's what I have in my hair right now. See, I don't know if you can see that. And again, do this in your bathroom, do it in your shower. I'm assuming you don't have time to shower and you're literally in front of your sink and one of her kids is like, Mommy, 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 Mommy. So, and you're like, just give me 1 second. Love you. Now, I'll tell you what, if you don't have big, gigantic hair and you like fullness, the thing that I love about second day hair with this is, if you notice, we didn't completely wet down the scalp. So you've got the lift that kind of happened overnight when the hair was rubbing around. So, because so many times people want second or third or even fourth day hair, because that's when their hair looks the best. It's most lifted. If you're a Swavy, wavy girl. So again, I put that product in. You want to keep, however you touch the hair has a lot to do with what's going to happen to it. If it's going to look good or not. So again, you want to make sure everything's in there good. And the reason I'm not speeding this up, if you're like, can't you do this in like quick motion? No, because I want you to see how long it really should take. And I want to make sure you got enough water in there and you're not just over gelling it. Now, this seems like a lot of water, but she's not dripping all over. Her hair's actually really absorbing that water. So again, working it through. That's pretty good. And then look in the mirror, you know. Now what I would do in this situation, see, she didn't even have to microfiber. Is I would use some clips. I'm gonna pause for a second because I'm gonna go run and get some clips. Okay, this is just driving me nuts because I'm a hairdresser and I'm gonna care. I see some of her little wild guys up there. Again, so I'm gonna hit it with a little more water. She said she's been using Archangel a lot lately, which is a great choice because it's got more hold. So you could, if you wanted, take a little Archangel, just pat it on top and work it through. And again, I want to kind of focus on the curly world stuff, but it's okay. If you want to use a little bit of it there. Again, my whole thing is it's okay to use like 2 or 3 products, but when you start having like 5 or 6 different things, there's too much room for error or for failure. So I'd rather just have you use this and use a lot of it on your first go round. Like I've never used this on her. So I mean, I'm looking. If I need to, I add a little bit more. It's really kind of hard to put it back in. All right, so we're going, I would say full tablespoon. So now we've gone through everything. I'm feeling pretty confident. Again, I'm making sure these ends are wet. And she's gonna be even faster at home because what you're gonna do at home, or scoop it from the sink, drag the gel over, comb it through, make sure everything's smooth, and then squeeze it, right? Isn't that kind of what you do? And do the same thing with this side. Super wet it down, put a bunch of gel on, comb it through with your fingers. I try not to use combs, even if they are the wide combs. Once in a blue moon, I do have a comb, but I really try not to. So just because I don't want it snapping her ends, then what you do is if you want to use the clips, this is how you clip. Pinch and push. See how there's little waves in her hair? You can kind of see where it needs to get off of her face and where we need to style it. Hook your index finger, pinch and push. And again, I'm taking that kind of high up. Okay? Because gravity is gonna pull it down anyway. So don't be afraid of over clipping if your hair is swavy or that kind of barely there curl, because gravity's gonna pull it down anyway, so you might as well get it as high as you can. And remember, wherever it lays, it stays. If it's stuck behind your ear, it's gonna dry that way. So then, and she's got some nice wave pattern. We're just sort of controlling it. And if you look in the mirror and you keep watching what you're doing, you see it looks sort of pretty. How there's like, imagine 3 fingers pushing up, 1 finger. So that's gonna stay put really nicely. Then I look at the top of her head and I look, where does she need some push? So right there. Again, I wanna make sure, I wear glasses too, you just wanna make sure you don't have it stuck behind your ear. Because when you're doing these clips, these are kind of your stylers. Now another thing you wanna remember when you're using a clip, open it up. Don't try to jam it in, it's a scooper. Think about, put your hand behind your back. If you can scoop it like that and it stays in nice, you've done it right. If you're putting it in and it's falling all over the place, then it's not in, then it's gonna dry that way. So again, and then another thing, you could put your fingertips on the scalp, spread, pinch, push. And you're like, well, that's barely any hair. That's fine. She doesn't want big Mickey Mouse ears. She wants a nice undulating wave. So now, let's say at the bottom, she really wants to get the maximum curl pattern. Like, okay, she could leave right now and just be running around with no clips and just the gel in her hair and letting it dry. And that would be fine. But let's just say she wants maximum curl because later on in the day, she wants to look, you know, cute and fun for whatever events are transpiring. I'm gonna grab my diffuser. So, diffuser. You know what, started off on low. I think the reason a lot of people don't succeed is they try either too hot or too cold. Just go on low, make sure it's warm, make sure it's not blowing. Now you're gonna take this hair down here. Again, gently, put it in here, and just kind of bounce it a little bit. This is what I would do. And if it's on low, it shouldn't be burning your hands. Because if it's burning your hands, it's probably burning your hair. Or just move it quickly. We want to remind the hair to be curly because with Swavy hair, it's easy to kind of make it not curly and straighten it out. If you put too much heat on it, it'll straighten out. And if you don't give it enough heat, it won't rise. And again, touch it a little bit. See what's going on. Now, if you were at home, you're probably not going to stand up straight and do that. So what I want you to do is tilt to the side like you have water in your ear. Cool. You would be at home. Now for second day hair, you just want to get it started. You don't even have to do all this. You put the stuff on, put a couple clips, and maybe get it started. And that's only if your hair straightens out really easy. Otherwise, you just go. Once the clips are in, the product is applied, you just go walk on with your day. And yes, it'll be a little wet, but as long as you've got product in there, it shouldn't look too crazy. And bounce it. This is another good technique, bouncing, because that way, again, the heat doesn't get too concentrated. And I saw this in a photo shoot one time where they kind of just let it cool off like this. Because remember, when it's heated, it's still sort of forming. See how that stayed up? So again, bouncy, bouncy. Cheesy as that may sound, that's what's going to give it some nice curly. Look at how curly that is. That's like kind of freaky. But again, if she had to leave, she would just leave it like that. Okay, good, water's out, and she just let it keep going. This is like your halfway there point. The thing is, don't start touching it because it's still drying, but at least you can walk out in public. You know what I mean? So just remove the excess moisture. I mean, I walk out with clips. Lorraine Massey used to talk about going on the train in New York City. A few clips in there. It's not the runway, you could do that. The kids see you in clips. It'll be a fun conversation. It's mommy's thing. Plus, to be honest, so many people will like ask you your advice. Oops. There we go. And again, this is really an unnecessary step. The only time I do this is just if I'm really dripping wet to make sure my curl knows I want it to be curly. Because when you have wavy or swavy hair, that weight of a water droplet can straighten out your hair. So you just need to knock out a little of the water. That's the best thing to do. You can lean over a little. I always say like you have water in your ear. And just do the dribble. And the reason I'm telling you about the dribble is I'm going to show you the Diva Curl hand, which a lot of people get very confused with that bad boy. And it's actually a super good styling tool. But it's definitely advanced curly stuff. You got to take 5 minutes of tutorial. See, and again, I'm feeling it to feel how dry she is. Because your whole point is just get it dry enough that it's starting to do its job. Now you can lean back up. Then I kind of pinch these. If they still feel sort of gooey, hasn't dried yet. But again, I just get it started so then she can like walk around. So at this point, I just let her dry like this, like good enough. And because I'm explaining it, it takes longer. But really when you're doing this at home, just think douse my hair in water pretty much with a spray bottle, glom on, you know, my favorite product. I'm gonna show you another concoction that I really like. Now, we have that Leave-In Lover by Curly World, but maybe you can't get the Curly World stuff. That's fine. What I've been using for a long, long time, if she came in a month ago, this is what I would have used on her, and I still would use it on her. So again, it's just about having options. But it's about having options that are healthy to your hair and easy to use, that mix well with other things, because you don't want to end up with a bathroom full of stuff that doesn't gel well together. If you get cottage cheese, if you get an inordinate amount of like fuzzy wuzzies at the scalp where it looks like there's like dandruff or cotton, then the products are not mixing well together. So most of this stuff mixes pretty nicely together. So this is a really big favorite of mine. Believe In, the product this salon cannot live without, by Diva Curl. And you would put this all over her wet head. This would be for first day here. You'd put this all over her head, like 4 pumps. Like think about a teaspoon. I always say like 2 fat Hershey's Kisses in your palm. Then, after you've applied that to the hair, where you're kind of, like she was talking about with prayer hands or whatever, yeah. So you kind of smooth it through the hair, then you comb it with the fingers, so we know we want it to be curly. And then what you can do is take your spray gel, which I've already like sprayed my hair just to like show on other videos, but you take it through and you kind of do that all over. And then, this is something I learned from you. You do this little thing where you kind of bring it up. Again, we learned from you guys too. Like I loved when she did that because it's a great example. Hair gets a lot of tension around the face. That may be the place where it doesn't want to curl and then it looks awkward. So if you have all that product, squishy, squishy, squish, and then press it, you're letting the hair know that you need it to bounce back and be curly again. Again, it's distributing the product, it's getting the bend back in it, because however it lays, it stays. So again, you can find these all over the place. Great products, love them. Probably shouldn't do that, but you know, that's how I am. Another great product that is a definitely tricky product sometimes, but if you learn to use it right, it'll be a really good friend to you. When your hair is soaking wet, let's say it got really, really dry. The winter was brutal. Your hair just felt super crispy and nasty. You can take some of the Set It Free and either put it in the gel or just pour it in your hand and drag it over your hair and then put your gel on top of it, and it acts like a really strong leave-in conditioner. The thing is, if your hair is even remotely dry and you go to spray this on, it will get sticky because its alternative use is actually like a root lifter. So this Set It Free, I have found, and this is just my personal, using it on different clients, if you want even bigger hair, you can take this stuff dry, flip your head over, do a little shake like that, get it in there. It should feel, if it's still wet, it's not dry enough yet. If you flip upside down, you're not going to get the lift. So you want it to dry a little bit. And beware, I'm going to be big. So it'll get really big. And again, then you have to put it into shape and then just let it dry the rest of the way. But that's another nice little, it's a moisturizing way of getting lift. But beware of it if you're still kind of struggling with all the new curly stuff. This is more like advanced curly trick. So there you go. Another thing you can do, put your gel on, put these clips on. If you're worried it's a super crazy humid day and you're like, I'm really worried my hair is going to be a disaster, this finishing mist, it's a setting and holding spray by Wavy. It can be your last step just to make things gel into place. So again, let's say you're somebody who doesn't like to use a lot of product, so you just put a leave-in conditioner in. If you hit it with a little bit of this, even if you don't have clips or anything, it just isn't like an anti-humectant. It takes the humidity out a little bit and sets it into place. So if you do hit moist air, you're not going to fluff out, in an awkward way. And see, this is where touch means a lot. I can tell by touching her hair, it's not dry yet. So let it be. Again, it's second day hair. You're going on with your day. Even if you need to, I'm taking out the clips. It's already in there. We already put it in. We already did a little diffuse. But you may have to go into the boardroom. You may have to go into a classroom. Wherever you're going, just walk out your door and you can't have these in your hair. So as long as you did that quick diffuse and knocked out the water, and you'll forget one. Then what I do, just gently, is give myself a head massage because it's second day here. I want to make sure it's sitting up and just let it keep drying. So again, we're not going to touch it because this is reality. This is what you do. See this girl right here on this Diva Curl? She's the Wavy. This is kind of like the best version of this because she can be very just wavy, but doing these little techniques brings out the best in her curl, so you can even get better curl out of somebody who is really the barely there curl. This will pop it up. Now, if you don't want it popped up, that's going to be another video for another day, but there's a way. I'll just go over it real quick. Is if you didn't want it popped up, if you wanted that mermaid hair, the barely there curl, you wouldn't do any of this clipping. You'd hold it and you'd tug this down so you have control of it, and you just diffuse going down and putting tension on the hair. So you're almost like, you want to be straight, that kind of thing. Let's say you are all about nature. You want these certified organic stuff. Intersense, fantastic. Like Allure loves this stuff, but I do too. It's a really great product for Swavy hair. This is a great combo. And why? What you would do first is you'd have your hair be really wet, soaking wet, out of the shower. Actually, while you're in the shower, just make it easier on yourself. So you're still in the shower. Take a little of this volumizing lotion, especially for people who don't like gel. This is a nice slippery volumizing lotion. So you put that in your hand, like a quarter size. It's kind of runny. Drag it over your curly locks and do that prayer hands and squeeze. Okay? Then take a couple pumps of this. This is really when you want that extra curl. Take a couple pumps of this. And again, push it into the hair a little bit and get it in there really good. then just let it be. And then go on and get ready for your day and do your thing and just be letting it dry. You can still use the clips and everything else that we did. I hope that makes sense to you. I just wanted you to have an alternative. So if you're normally using the Believe In and the Curl Maker spray gel, this is your alternative if you want supernatural. So supernatural sounds kind of good. So this is the InnerSense foam and the lotion. So it's not that anything's better or worse. This is just your more organic take on things. I believe this has a little bit more hold. This is also very good for second day hair. Why? You were talking about use a little foam sometimes, I think. Was that you or no? Okay. Some people for the second day hair, you want something ultra light. You can take a little of this very light foam, put a little water in it, and drag it over your sprayed hair, like that you've misted it with the water, and you drag it over the top just to sort of reboot it. You know what I mean? Anywhere that got kind of fuzzy and you reboot it. I think we're good to go. We're gonna let this just sit and dry because that's what you would do naturally.